Right, so let's see here. Let's see if we are up and running just yet. Yep, we are up and running, and I want to welcome everyone in to episode 9. Hey out there, everybody. Welcome to episode 9 of Mouse Madness. Before we get started, hey Steve, what's up, buddy? How you doing? For those who might be joining us on the replay, this is Walt from Mouse Talk, and we are here with our Tuesdays live streams. We do Mouse Madness every Tuesdays. And today's episode, I think it's 8, if I'm not mistaken. I think you guys would know better. Hey, John, how you doing? We are here with episode 8 of Mouse Madness. And hey, Chris, what's going on, bud? And we are going to have a good time tonight. We are counting down our top 20 favorite TV shows of all time. And we have got a vast range of different TV shows to talk about tonight. We got comedies, we got game shows, we got talk shows, we got dramas, we got sitcoms, we've got animated TV shows. We got all kinds of good stuff in this list, and I'll be interested to see from you guys what makes your list and what doesn't. It's a good list. I mean, again, you know, it's a guy's list, so all the ladies out there that might be watching, please take that into account. But it's a fun list. I always have a good time with these lists, and yeah, I had so many different shows that I could have picked from. And it was really actually kind of hard. No, it's not Dora the Explorer. Never. Hey, thanks, John. I appreciate it. But we're gonna have a good time tonight. I think we're gonna have a great time. For those watching on the replay again, if you could, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for us and share out the video. And for those that are in here now, please share out the stream. Hey, what's up, Brian? What's going on, buddy? How are you? Welcome in, gentlemen. And we are going to get started in just a second. Just a couple real quick shout-outs. We are going to have, first off, let me just say thank you to Dean at the Live Place and Dreamers Empire for, of course, hosting the show like they do every week. Great live streams out there, folks. Let's go out to theliveplace.com. A lot of family-friendly live streams, Disney and other stuff, too. Be sure you check it out. Hey, there's Melissa. Hi, Melissa. And Dean does a great job there. Have a lot of great streams, a lot of good people. And you should definitely check them out. A lot of good, fun stuff. And also, we have a couple announcements to make. We have a real big live stream. And, of course, Steve, you know all about it. Coming up on December 18th, we're going to do a mega live stream. We have some special guests coming in, and we are going to do a Lord of the Rings live stream. It's going to start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on December 18th. We are going to have several guests. We are going to have Meg from Mickey's Magic. We're going to have Dan from Disney Dan. We're going to have Steve from Steve's World. Hey, Noah. And, of course, myself and maybe one other. We're not too sure yet, trying to look into that fifth person. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Major Lord of the Rings. We're going to talk about all kinds of different aspects of the movies, the characters, the plots, all kinds of different things. It's going to be a great time, for sure. But let's get into tonight's, again, top 20 TV shows. And again, there was a ton of them. I could have easily picked... I know. Well, sometimes it feels like I haven't seen her in a week, Chris, to be honest with you. But top 20 TV shows, and this was really hard for me because I could probably do a top 50 TV shows. Not that I watch a ton of TV, but usually the shows I watch are ones that I'm very invested in and ones that I do my absolute best not to miss every single week. So that means a lot to me. A couple of kind of caveats for me, and Melissa mentioned this on the show. Hey, Isaac, how you doing, buddy? Welcome in. These are shows that have to go on for several seasons, not one season. There's a couple shows that Melissa had mentioned that we actually like that are good shows, but they only lasted one season. They didn't last very long. So I didn't put them on the list. So those won't be on there. These are shows that had to go on for several seasons, and ones that I definitely liked. But I do have some... I knew she was going to say that. I have several honorable mentions as well, but I'll save them to the end. I won't get into them too much, but I'll just kind of go over what they are. But let's get right into it. And again, guys and gals, tell me yours as well. I want to hear from you all. I want to hear what some of your favorites are. And when you hear mine, let me know if these are ones that maybe might make your list. Maybe you've never heard of them. Because a couple of them I'm sure you probably haven't. But let's get right into it. And the first one for me, number 20 on the list, is the only talk show. It's a late night show that makes the list for me. And I like this throughout my life. He no longer hosts it, obviously, and that's The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. For any of you young folks, you may not even know who that is. But for us older folks that are in here, oh, Brian, you'll have to see. Steve, you'll have to see. Let's see what we get. But, yeah, the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. I used to love Johnny Carson. My mom wouldn't let me stay up late all the time. But when she did, that would be the reason why she would do it during school, is because of Johnny Carson. And I really like Johnny Carson. I think he was fantastic. He was kind of the first real late-night guy for me. There were ones before him, but I love Johnny Carson. He had Ed McMahon. You know, what was it, the Great Kreskin? He was just, Johnny Carson was so funny. I don't know. Hey, what's going on, Rob? Welcome in, bud. It's true. Johnny Carson was, he was the man. And I actually miss him on TV. I wish he was still there. All the other ones are kind of neat and they're fun. And I don't mind Jimmy Fallon. But, hey, Cargo, welcome in. How are you? And I don't mind Jimmy Fallon. He's fun. But what I liked about Johnny Carson, at least from what I can remember, is Johnny kept the politics out of it for the most part. You know, these shows today, they kind of bring their politics into the show. And I don't want to talk politics tonight. But hey, Main Street and Mickey, welcome in. That's all right. I'm just glad you stopped in for a minute. Thank you for saying hi. But I like that about it. He just kept it fun. He kept it unique. You know, he talked about the people, talked about the stars, and had some fun skits. And kind of left it at that. And that's what I liked about it. I think the shows today have too much of an agenda in it for themselves. And I don't like that. You know, keep your politics on the outside. You know, the shows are supposed to be about fun. But that's my number 20. Number 20 is Johnny Carson, for sure. Steve says, hi, Main Street and Mickey. Bye, Main Street and Mickey. Just jumping in for a second. Well, I appreciate them jumping in at all. That was very nice. Thank you. But, all right, so there you go. So, number 20. And there's a few, maybe not everybody here is the same age as me, but there are a few that are close to me, and I'm sure you all know who Johnny Carson is. I don't like politics in my politics, let alone my TV shows. It's true, Chris. I just, you know, you could keep things apart. I wish people would. They don't. But that's number 20 for me, is The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And I tell you, there's actually, the more I thought about it, you know, I'm not into major comedies when it comes to movies. If you notice, there was only like one or two that made my top 20. But there's a lot of comedies in my TV shows, and you'll see it. And the next one, number 19 on my list, and you guys are going to laugh at this, but I'm sorry. For me, as a kid, growing up, I used to love this show. I thought it was so much fun. And that's Gilligan's Island. And I know everybody's going to laugh at that, but I think I loved Gilligan's Island. Bob Denver as Gilligan and Alan Hale as the skipper. And, of course, I think his name was Jim Backus as Thurston Howell III. And, of course, the professor and Mary Ann and Ginger. It was a fun show. It was so corny that it was funny. Hey, Downscale, welcome in. What's going on? Hope you're doing well. We're counting down my top 20 TV shows of all time. But I did. I don't know. There was something about Gilligan's Island. It was just so funny. You know, they could never get off the island. Gilligan always did something to screw it up. And they would never get off the island. Me too, Steve. I watch the same thing. I watch the reruns on TV Land when I can. And I just think they're fun. Sometimes it's good to have TV that's just fun, you know, and this is one of those shows that growing up, it was really, yes, it's a great theme song too. Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of fateful ship. And it's fun. It was a good time. It's a cool show. Rob, it's going to be Mary Ann, hands down. So you asked me Mary Ann or Ginger, it's going to be Mary Ann. Downscale says Ginger. I don't know. I just thought it was a funny show. It really was. It definitely was. You know, for its time, it was neat, and it didn't last long. I think it only lasted 6 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't around long, but yeah, I know, Melissa. That's true, but I don't know. It wasn't around a really long time, but it did have an indelible effect. I really enjoyed the show. I thought it was fun. So there you go. Number 19 is Gilligan's Island. Number 18, and a lot of these shows, folks, are going to be back in this time frame. You know, Gilligan's Island is a 60s show. It started in the 60s and went into the 70s. But a lot of these are going to be shows that, for me, were shows that I watched every single week, and I loved them. And, oh, yeah, it was 6 seasons. No, 6 seasons isn't bad at all, to be honest with you. Star Trek was only 5. I'm surprised at that. Yeah, Mary Ann was kind of the girl next door, Rob. I agree. Yep. But for me, number 18 on my list is another show from that time frame, a little bit later on after Gilligan's Island, and that's The Jeffersons. Again, there are going to be a lot of comedies in here. But I loved the Jeffersons. Sherman Hemsley was fantastic as George Jefferson. And what was her name? Was it Martha? Oh, my God, I can't remember her name. Isn't that terrible? The woman that played oh my God, isn't that terrible? The one that played the maid. I can't remember her name now. You guys will probably remember. But the Jeffersons were so much fun. That was a lot of... I used to love that show. It was just so funny. And again, another show... Wheezy. It was a good time. Yeah, Wheezy. That's what he called her. Yeah, Louise Jefferson. He called her Wheezy. But we enjoyed that show. We would laugh so hard at that show that we would cry sometimes. Florence, that's it. Thanks, Melissa. Yeah, I couldn't remember her name. Her real name is Marla Gibbs, I think, isn't it? I think it's Marla Gibbs. But they were so funny. Him and her, the back and forth in that show was so funny. He used to always talk about how lazy she was or ugly she was, and she would talk about how short he was. And it was just so funny. And it was just really, it's a good show. And anybody that hasn't watched it, go back and watch the reruns on that. It's another one of those shows, I think, Steve, if I'm not mistaken, you can get that on TV Land too, from time to time. And it's fun. It's definitely a fun show for me, is The Jeffersons. And I can't remember the name of the Englishman. Melissa, what was the name of the English guy that lived upstairs that used to come down and George would sometimes walk on his back when he was having back trouble? I can't remember his name. Hey, Stacy, how you doing? Stacy says her brother used to call her sister Wheezy because her middle name was Louise. I love Jeffersons. They're just so funny. It was a pretty good show. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the guy upstairs that he used to come down, and he was the one that had the British accent. I can't remember his name now, but Paul Benedict. Yeah, it might have been his name in real life. I can't remember the name of the guy, but he was really funny too. So there you go. Number 18 on the list is the Jeffersons. Mr. Belvedere. No, it wasn't Mr. Belvedere, Chris. It wasn't Mr. Belvedere for sure. And no, Mr. Belvedere does not make my list either. Mr. Bentley, that's it. Mr. Bentley, thank you. Downscale and Stacy. He was really funny too. Yes, Mr. Bentley. Cool. I'm glad you guys know these shows. That's good. I don't feel so bad now. Oh, you looked it up on IMDb. Okay. Stacy looked it up. That's funny. All right, so number 17, and this one we're going way back. Paul Benedict, yep. This one we're going way back on, and this is another one of those. This one's really, really campy, but it was my first introduction into the superhero world, and that's the 1960s Batman with Adam West. Who doesn't like Adam West as Batman? Or what was his name? Burt Ward as Dick Grayson. That show was so funny. I remember, I think it was Cesar Romero was the Joker. It was just awesome. It was such a cool show. It was so campy and so corny that it was classic. That's true. Can't like Pal. It's true. It was so much fun. It was such a fun show. And I remember when they interviewed Adam West one time, he talked about how he did that role. He said that he took it as a serious role, but he did it on purpose because he knew it would come across campy and dorky. And it worked to perfection. It was so cool. It was really a lot of fun. Cesar Romero is a good Joker. He really is, Stacy. He He was a lot of fun. They did a great job. Burgess Meredith was the Penguin. Oh my gosh, isn't that terrible? I can't remember the guy's name that played the Riddler, but he was great too. It was just a fun show. Had a good time with it. I really did. No, he wasn't your typical muscular Batman at all, Steve. Absolutely not. But he was. Remember when they used to climb up the side of the wall, and the people would open the window, and they would come out and talk to him as they were climbing up the wall? It was so much. It was so corny. It was funny. Yes, I remember them in the Scooby-Doo cameos. I do remember that, Chris. Frank Gorshin. Thank you. Did you look that one up too, Stacy? I want to know. But, yeah, great show. Lots of fun. But, you know, Batman's another one. I don't think that was around that long. I want to say 4 seasons, maybe 5. I can't remember for sure, but it wasn't many. You guys could look. Somebody could look that up for me. How many seasons was Batman around? I'm going to say it was only like 4 or 5 seasons. And I can't remember. I mean, it wasn't like it was Gunsmoke that was around for like 20. I'm engaged to a super nerd. That's funny. Oh, my goodness. So there you go. Number 17 was Batman. 66 to 68. So it was only around 3 seasons. How about that? 67, 67. Yeah, that's 3. I had to count it for a minute there. That's not funny, Melissa. So there you go. Number 17 is Batman. All right, so here we go. Number 16, and this is going to be the only reality TV show that makes my list. I'm not major into reality TV shows, but this is the one that, to me, I consider to be the only reality TV show that I think is pretty legitimate. There are no voting people off. There are no people that can connive together and get people voted off the island. There is no worrying about the country voting you out or judges not giving you good scores. If you're last, you're eliminated. It's that simple, and that's The Amazing Race. Nope, no real world for me, downscale. Yeah, said no one ever. That's true. It's The Amazing Race. I absolutely love The Amazing Race. First off, it'll give you history, because it'll talk about the countries. It'll give you geography. It'll give you culture. And so you can get educated off the show, too, because of all the places they go. And it's a really fun show. And there's no voting. You don't have to worry about being voted off. If you're last, you're eliminated. Just don't be last. It's that simple. As the dog is chewing on something back there. But I do. I love The Amazing Race. It's just something about it. It's so much fun. And we watch it all the time. Never miss an episode. My son and I almost applied to it. We were going to apply to it for sure. And, yep, Amazing Race. It's true. Is it Teen Mom? No, it's not Teen Mom. I can't even imagine. I don't understand how people watch that stuff. But no, I don't watch any of the Real Wives, Stacey. Not me. I don't watch the Kardashians. I don't watch any of that stuff. No, it's the only non-cooking reality show that Chris watches. That's funny. But we do. We love it. We love The Amazing Race. My son and I, my oldest son, Walter, him and I would sit down and religiously watch that show. We loved it. We really had a good time with it. It was fun. Race 101. Don't be last. That's exactly right, Downscale. It's that simple. Don't be last. Don't be last the first 19 legs, and then the last leg, be first. It's that simple. Oh, geez, Steve, you should apply, man. My son and I we're scaredy cats. That's the only reason why we don't apply, but we want to apply too. It's so much fun. It's such a great show. And it's coming back for another season. And it's been around for like 20-something seasons. It's crazy. Now, they usually do 2 seasons a year. You know, one in the fall and one in the spring. So, you know, for what it's worth. But it's been around for a long time. Yep. Chopped. I like Chopped. I didn't mind Chopped. You know which one I used to like to get off subject real fast, Steve? Is Melissa and I used to watch Iron Chef. But back in the day when it was the real Iron Chef with the Japanese chefs in there. That was a lot of fun. Melissa and I used to watch that all the time. I heard about Final Table, Chris. I heard about Final Table. That's out there now. Stacy says her nephew made the mistake of her of her child with a girl whose favorite TV show is Teen Mom, and she's trying to act like them. Oh, Jesus. Unfortunately, we don't get to see our niece. Oh, that's too bad. Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. That's a good one, too. Noah, that's actually that's a fun show with Guy Fieri. Steve, your sister would eat anything. See, that's where Walter and I think, would probably lose. Because I'm not eating anything. I'm not. I just won't eat anything. Nope, I won't. Yep, Iron Chef. Morimoto. Chef Morimoto. Yep. He was the man. He was definitely the man. All right, so let's move on. So we have done 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. Number 14, and this is where Melissa's going to get happy. And that is The Muppet Show. The Muppet Show is one of the best TV shows ever for me. There was so much fun with the Muppets. Everything about the show was amazing. They had some really cool guests on there. And these guests would really drop their guard. Even some of the tough guests they had on there, like Sylvester Stallone and some of the other ones. I think they even had Charles Bronson on there one time. And they were just so much fun. It was such a fun show. I love all the characters of the Muppets. My favorite Muppet is Sweetums, who you didn't get to see a lot on the Muppet Show, but he was there, and I love the Muppets. Is there really anything bad to say about the Muppets? Waldorf and Statler were fantastic. Fozzie, Kermit, they're awesome. The original Muppet Show was the best. Yep, they really are. They really are. I mean, there's nothing like the Muppets. I really wish that they would have somewhere where you could watch I'm hoping it's on the streaming service that Disney comes out with, that they'll have the old reruns of the Muppet Show, because I would really like to be able to watch them again. Oh, a lot of comments in here. Let's see what we got, Stacy. Yep, it's time to put on makeup. It's time to dress up right. Hey, Joey's World, what's going on? Welcome in. How are you? I love Scooter too, John. He is a lot of fun. Animal's great. There really is no character that's really bad. Janice is fantastic. Rizzo. But if you remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rizzo wasn't around for the original show, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think or at least he wasn't a main character back then. Oh my gosh, Downs Go. If you have the originals, that's fantastic. I love it. Fraggle Rock's another good one too, John. I actually did like that show too, with Wembley and Gobo and Red and Moki. I like that show too. Yeah, I like the great moments in history too, Chris, that they do. It's a good show. Joey Rocks. Hashtag Joey Rocks, everybody. Joey's in here. Say hi to him. But yep, a lot of good ones there. Fraggle Rock was awesome. He was pretty awesome. He really was. Dr. Teeth is another one. And the Electric Mayhem t-shirts. Oh my God, I would love to have one of those t-shirts. That would be awesome. But, yeah, Fraggle Rock's fun, Downscale. I really did enjoy that. What was the dog's name? Sprocket? I think the dog's name was Sprocket. But, yep, I enjoyed them. And Junior, you know, the Giants they had. Oh, it was awesome. It was a good show, too. But the Muppets got to make the list, guys. So that was number 14. Number 14, Garbage Lady. So number 13 on the list is, we're going back again. We're going back to comedy. Again, a lot of comedy in here. And that is a show that I think kind of was a trend center for its time. Was a family show, a great family show. You know, kind of a tragic ending at this point for the main star, but that's The Cosby Show. Bill Cosby as Heathcliff Huxtable was fantastic. I mean, I think that show taught a lot of families, you know, or brought to light some of the real life issues that families have, and some of the turmoil and struggles that families have. You know, even though he was a doctor and she was a lawyer, you know, they still had the real life, you know, struggles, and it was really a fun show. It was really funny. Lots of great characters on the show, great acting, great episodes, and The Cosby Show is fantastic. Oh, Stacey, all right, good. I'm glad you told me that. I'll have to look that up for sure. Noah says Stranger Things. Yep, that's a good one. But The Cosby Show, yep, great show. I just think it's fantastic. I do. I just think there's just something about The Cosby Show that made it really, really a lot of fun. Felicia Rashad, is great as Claire Huxtable, and it's really wonderful. It's funny because all the kids that were on that show, none of them really went on to do anything else after that show. Now, Lisa Bonet, she did a couple things here and there, and of course she's married to Aquaman. But none of them really went on to do anything major, at least not in front of the screen. I don't know if any of them did anything behind the screen, but they really didn't. Chris said he watched Mr. Ed. There's nothing wrong with Mr. Ed either, Chris. Yeah, no, the downscale, exactly. It's great. The show's fantastic. You know, whatever happened to Cosby today is what it is, and it's very sad and it's very tragic. But just in general, tragic is what I mean by that. But yeah, the show itself was fantastic. He did a great job on that show, and I loved it. I thought it was great. Yeah, Steve. That's the point, and that's kind of what I did was, I don't watch as much TV now, so a lot of the shows are going to be shows that meant something to me when I was younger, for sure. Well, you know what, Stacy? That's exactly right. You had to view Heathcliff Huxtable and Bill Cosby as separate individuals, and in a way, they are. Yep. Car 54, where are you? Donna Reed, Nick at Night. I remember those shows too, Downscale. That's funny. Yep, I remember them. Adam 12. Anybody remember Adam 12? Oh, really? They had a TV show. They had a Christmas show on with both Rudy and Vanessa. How about that? I didn't know that, Stacy. That's pretty cool. Facts of Life, of course. Who doesn't remember the Facts of Life? Yeah, that was a good show too. With what was her name? Tootie and Blair. Yeah, absolutely. John. Yeah, a lot of these are going to be obviously American shows, but there might be a couple in there that you might heard of if you keep watching, for sure, coming up later. Yeah, Heathcliff Huxtable was America's Dad, but I tell you, another America's Dad, and he'll be coming up later on in the list. I think it was kind of my America's Dad, but we'll get to him later. You take the good, you take the bad. I don't know the rest of the words. The facts of life. Stacey, you rode in an elevator with Blair. That's pretty cool. What was she like? Was she nice? Yeah, Joey. Well, that's exactly right. We're old and we remember those shows when they were on air. That's exactly right. Not reruns, when they were new shows. Yep. Yep. Al Bundy. Al Bundy. Steve, that show did not make my list. I'm sorry. I did not like that show. That's a whole nother story. I won't even get into it. But I'm telling you, I don't know. I didn't like Married with Children for some reason. It just didn't sit well with me. I don't know why. But there you go. So Cosby Show. So the next one on my list is number 12. I had to count them. I couldn't remember what number I was on. Three's Company makes the list. Oh, we'll have to see. You'll have to see, Joey's World. You'll have to see. Stacy says, she's awesome. I have pictures. I was at a women's conference in Dallas, and she was a speaker. Wow, how about that? Very nice. I'm good. I'm glad she was nice. That's important. No, he's not my America's Dad pick. Absolutely not. But number 12 on this list. Now, I'm going to say this about this show. I really enjoyed this show. But what makes this list, the reason why this show makes the top 20 for me, if for no other reason, is season 1 of this show. This show's season 1 is one of the best first seasons of any show I've ever seen. There's others that topped it, but this one, the first season, every single episode was a cliffhanger at the end of the episode. And it was fantastic. And that show is Prison Break. Have any of you out there ever seen Prison Break? If you've not seen Prison Break, watch, if no other season, watch the first season of Prison Break. That show was amazing. Melissa even loved that show. She'll tell you. It's not lost. It's not lost. But Prison Break was unbelievable that first season. Every single episode, at the end of that episode, was it was a cliffhanger. Every single time that show would end at the end of the night, you're like, how is he going to get out of this one? How is he going to get out of that one? What is he going to do now? It was unbelievable. And the whole premise of the show was this guy broke into jail to break his brother out. It was awesome. I don't know. It was so unique. It was nothing like it. Now the seasons after were okay. They got progressively bad as they went on, but the first season was it's just nothing like it. It was amazing. Let's see what everybody says here. Yeah, that season, it was an awesome first season, wasn't it, Melissa? John says his dad loved it. Yep, season 1 was really good. Oh gosh, downscale. Make sure you see Prison Break, buddy. I think you'll like it. Yeah, they brought it back for that one season, I think, Steve, for sure. Yeah, they did lose their way a little bit, Chris. I agree. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know that Prison Break was necessarily something that should have been a show. I think it should have been a miniseries. I think what they did with it, they could have stopped at season 1, and I would have been perfectly fine with it. But, it was such a hit that they went on with it. Legends of Tomorrow, that's funny, Stacy. Yeah, but you're right, and they are on Legends of Tomorrow. That's right. Season 1 of Ren and Stimpy. I've never seen that show, downscale. Yeah, me too, Steve. It was one of those things that it was like, oh my gosh, every week was it was a cliffhanger. It took forever for the next week to get here. Alexa, play season Prison Break 1, season 1. Yeah, play it. You'll like it, Dasco, I'm telling you. Agreed. So there you go. So that's my number 12. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. I had to count them again. I keep losing track. You guys are going to have to remember to tell me what number we're on. But all right, so we are on to number 11. I'm tired. I'm sorry. Number 11. So number 11 on this list, again, we're going to go back to comedy. And this was one of the 4 Thursday night juggernauts that, and I think it was NBC used to have. Of course, they had The Cosby Show. They had Family Ties. They had Cheers. And then this show finished off the night. And it was very, very unique. And that's Night Court. How many out there remember Night Court? With Harry Anderson. What was his name? Bull Shannon. Night Court was awesome. Marky Post was in it as well. John Larroquette, which is kind of where he got his start. That's what really took him and made him a star for John Larroquette was Night Court. I loved Night Court. I thought it was really, really fun. It was a cute show. It was neat. It was a lot of slapstick. It was a lot of, dry humor for sure, but I loved Night Court. I don't know if Night Court's really like that in real life, but if it was, I would be really happy if it was. I don't know if anybody out there watched that one, but Night Court was a lot of fun. Who's the boss? There's another one. Alf said, Melissa loved Alf as a kid. That's funny. But yeah, Night Court. Just a funny show. It really was. I loved it. We never missed an episode of Night Court. My family and I would laugh our heads off at that show. It really was hilarious. X-Files. There's another one. Interesting. I wonder if that'll make the list. Chris, I like Cheers too. I really did. I don't know. It's just something about Night Court. It was just different. Cheers was a lot of fun too. I enjoyed Cheers. And who knows? Maybe it'll make my list. You have to stick around. We're getting there. But Night Court was just a lot of fun. They had a couple of cast member turnovers when they lost a couple people when they passed away. But Night Court's fun. It was such a great show. Downscale's funny. X-Files is classic, though, John. You're right. X-Files is definitely classic. But there you go. So number 12 for me is Night Court. So let's move on to number 11. And Melissa will know this one. And, this is another one that was on for about 5 or 6 seasons. And we really enjoyed it. Melissa and I thought this was a fun little show. It was a cop show. And but it had a different take on it. And it had, of course, the writer, the novelist, who was following his muse around, who was a police detective. No, I think it is December. Oh, it is November. You're right, Steve. I'll have to switch that. I thought I flipped it. I'll have to flip that. Yeah, it should be December. Thank you for noticing. Here, I'll go do that now. There you go. I flipped the calendar. I don't want Steve to be upset all night. Because that gets me too. I'll be like, well, he changed that calendar? Yes, Steve. And Steve got it, exactly. Castle. Everybody's got it. Castle. Barney Miller's a good one too, Joey's World, though. Oh, the dog wants to leave. Now I scared the dog. Let me let the dog out, everybody. There you go. Now you know who let the dog out. But Castle, yes. Castle. Nathan Fillion, Stan Akatic. Fun show, cop show, kind of a serial show, kind of, you know, each week it's a different type of, you know, what they're fighting for crime. But it was fun. It was cute. The chemistry between the two of them was a lot of fun. Now, I don't know what they were like in real life, but I know on the show they were really they were fun. Their chemistry was pretty darn awesome, and we liked it. We thought it was a fun show. It's a different take on the cop serial shows that you get nowadays, and we had a good time with it. We thought it was really really a lot of fun. Melissa's cracking up downstairs because I got up. Steve, it's a picture of the manger. It's a picture of the manger. It's Joseph, Mary, and the baby Jesus. That's what it is a picture of. Video documentation of calendar. Well, on the floor back there, as you can see, I have the Disney calendar that's going up, and my picture of my football team when they won the Super Bowl, that broke, and I have to fix that too. But Dragnet's a good one. Yep, Dragnet's a good one too. But yeah, Castle. Fun show. ABC show. I think it lasted 6 years, 6 seasons, and probably went on 1 or 2 seasons too long for sure. But, you know, it was one of those, you know, tension shows when it comes between him and her. Will they or won't they get together? Will they or won't they? And it was kind of, once they finally did get together, kind of jumps the ship. You know, jumps the shark. But it was fun. It's a good show. And yeah, Melissa likes his new show, The Rookie, too, that just started. We haven't watched it religiously, though. It's not one of those that we sat down every week and, oh my God, we have to watch it. But that's the one thing about all these shows with us, is these are shows that make this list that can't miss for us. We have to watch them. Well, especially for me, I can't miss them. 8 seasons of Castle? Wow, I didn't think it went that long, Stacy. How about that? That is crazy. But all the supporting characters in the show were fun, too. They were neat. They made the show fun. Yep, good show, Castle. So there you go. We are down to number 9. Yep, number 9. So that was number 10. Number 9, DuckTales. DuckTales. Woo! Nope, DuckTales doesn't make the list, downscale. Nathan Fillion was on One Life to Live. Huh, how about that? Yep. So there you go. So the next one on the list is number 9. And this is a show that's only been around for a few seasons. I think it's done. It only lasted 4 seasons, but each season was different. And it was well written. This list is a lie. No, it's just an opinion, downscale. But for me, this season, this show here, stomps out. This show was really a good show. It's on FX. And it only lasted for, I think it was 4 seasons. Melissa, you would probably remember more than me. And every season was different. And it had a different story, pretty much. And it was some incredible acting, some incredible writing. And it's Fargo. I don't know how many of you out there have watched it. But the first season of Fargo is fantastic. But the 3 seasons following that are very good as well. And the acting in these shows are fantastic. Billy Bob Thornton is in season 1 of Fargo. And he is amazing in that show. I absolutely loved him. Martin Freeman, I think, was in season 1. If I'm not mistaken, Melissa, you can remind me. But that show is fantastic, and every season I've watched so far, I've loved every season of Fargo. It's an amazing show. Expecting. Bates Motel's a good one, John. I heard about that. But Fargo. Steve, check out Fargo. I think you'd like it. I think it's a really good one. The first season is really good. TV shows isn't enough. That's funny, Dowskill. But watch. I don't know how many out there have seen it. Has anybody out there seen Fargo? If you haven't seen Fargo, be sure to check it out. I think it's a really good show. It's a drama, you know, but it's a good story, good acting, good writing, and I think you probably watch it. The Agency. I don't know that one, Steve. But check out Fargo, guys. I'm telling you, I think you'd enjoy it. I think it's a really good show. It's definitely it's a lot of I say fun, but it's a drama. It's definitely a drama. It's got a lot of violence, unfortunately, in it, but it's just well written. It's a good show. SpongeBob SquarePants on your list. I do like SpongeBob SquarePants, Chris. Actually, his show's fantastic. Squidward is amazing. He's probably my favorite character. But I do like SpongeBob. I've never seen The Agency. I don't even know what The Agency is. About around 700 on this top 10. Oh, well, look, we're getting down. We are getting there. Chris, I love SpongeBob. I think SpongeBob's great. Yeah, SpongeBob would be there. Bring it around town. Technique! Oh, about the CIA. Okay, I got you. All right, so the next one on my list, we are down to number 8, if I'm not mistaken. Let's make sure here. 2, 4, 6. No, this is number 9. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is number 9. Fargo was number 10. So we're getting there. So the next one on the list, at number 9, is an HBO show. I almost put it a little bit higher, but then I just couldn't put it any higher. But I think it's an excellent show. It's no longer on the air. And for a lot of people, it's considered the best show ever. And that's The Sopranos. The Sopranos is fantastic. James Gandolfini, God rest his soul, just as unbelievable as Tony Soprano. And I love that show. It's extremely violent. I understand that, and you know, it's disturbing in a lot of different ways too. But Fargo sucks more than this one. Again, I told you it's just my opinion. By all means, that's why I want to hear from you guys. But The Sopranos is pretty darn awesome. I think Sopranos is amazing. I do. I think it's such an incredible show. Well acted again, well written. I think the first 4 seasons were really good. I don't. Again, I can't remember how far it goes, but it's pretty darn well. I hated the ending of the show, of the series. I don't even understand the whole point of that. I know everybody has their own take on what that was supposed to mean, but I hated that. I think they should have ended it the right way. But I love The Sopranos. I think it was great. I think the show is just fantastic. Steve, I get that. You know, Sopranos isn't for everybody, and it took me a little bit of time. I almost gave up after the first 5 episodes, but I hung in there and kept going, and it got better. And then it was excellent. It was really cool. And that's the thing, Chris. It's not for everybody. I totally get that, but it can be a hard show to watch. Trust me. But The Sopranos is pretty darn awesome. Yep, an offer they can't refuse for sure. But that's it. I'm just reading some of the comments here. Yeah, Brian, I mean, Sopranos is good. I enjoyed it. That's why I made my list. It was one of those shows. Once I started watching it, I binge watched it. Because I didn't see it while it was on TV. I just kind of watched it and just flew right through all the episodes. And then I got hooked. And I just thought it was awesome. And it's a good show. I really enjoyed it. Soprano. Okay, 6 seasons for The Soprano. Okay, got you. No, I won't say anything, Steve, for sure. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. It's a pretty good show for sure. So there we go. So, all right, so we are down to number 8. So number 8, and number 8 is going to be on the total opposite spectrum of The Sopranos. We're going back to comedy, and this one is a great comedy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. But for me, this one is a comedy, and it's a '70s comedy, '70s into the '80s, I think. And I think this show was a lot of fun. Again, really nothing to it. It's not something you really got to think about. It's just fun TV. A lot of slapstick, physical comedy. Um, I love John Ritter, and it's Three's Company. Um, Again, this is not going to win the Emmy for best writing or director debut or anything like that. But Three's Company was a lot of fun. I thought that show was so amazing. John Ritter's physical comedy in that show was fantastic. Suzanne Summers was awesome as Chrissy Snow. Joyce DeWitt was fantastic. I don't know, Ralph Furley. Oh my gosh, what was Ralph Furley was the second landlord. I can't remember. Norman Fell was the original. Mr. Roper. Who doesn't like Three's Company? I think the show was pretty funny. Hey, it's true. I think the physical comedy, I laughed out loud too, Joey's World. I thought it was really funny. Come and knock on my door. It's true. I thought the show was a lot of fun, Chris. I really did. I don't know. Something about that show was really amazing. And even when Suzanne Summers left and they brought the other two girls in after that, I still enjoyed the show. She was a big part of it. Don't get me wrong. I think she was, obviously she's beautiful and everything, but she was funny. She was actually funny as Chrissy Snow. And John Ritter is just, I miss him. That's one of the most disappointing deaths for me in Hollywood is John Ritter. There's a few others too, but that one kind of left a mark when he passed away. I really enjoyed John Ritter. He was awesome. And Three's Company. So there you go. That's my number 8 is Three's Company. So now we are getting down to the nitty-gritty. These last 7 are shows for me that I absolutely love. I swear by these 7 shows. I will watch them anytime, all the time. If they're on, I'm stopping and I'm watching them if I catch them. And they are all fantastic. And that's how we're going to go from here on out. Yeah, his son does look just like him, Stacy. He does. He looks just like him. Absolutely. Yep, he certainly does. Probably. Downscale. You're funny. I don't know the rest either. But number 7 for me on my list. This is the number 7 show for me. Again, another comedy. But this one is a spinoff. Okay? I think this, to me, is the best written comedy out there ever. I think the comedy on this one, the dry humor, but the acting is amazing. The writing is amazing. And I wish that this show was not off the air. I think it was absolutely fantastic. Yes, Chris, you got it. That's exactly right. Steve, you hit it. It's Frasier. Frasier, by far, blows Cheers out of the water. Now, I love Cheers, don't get me wrong. But Frasier is probably the best spin-off show, maybe in the history of television, in my opinion. There's been a lot of spin-off shows, and most of them don't make it and don't do well. Frasier won Emmy after Emmy after Emmy. David Hyde Pierce won. Kelsey Grammer won. The show won. It was an amazing show. And I would laugh so hard at that show, I would cry on some of those episodes. It's just an incredible show. For those of you who haven't seen Frasier, go back and watch it. The dry humor in that show is so funny, and they're so witty. It's smart humor. And that's what's really best about it. I loved Frasier. Oh, Stacy, you never watched Frasier. You've got to watch Frasier. It's such a great show. It's such a great show. Joey's World. I've never seen Futurama. I can't say that I've seen it. Yes, it's true, downscale. I mean, that's kind of what I was getting at. Is it was intelligent comedy. A lot of the underhanded remarks were witty, smart remarks, and you had to really think about them. But yeah, Frasier's fantastic. I never watched Seinfeld, Steve. I never saw that show. I've never seen one episode of Seinfeld. You guys would be amazed at some of the shows I've never seen I've never seen Seinfeld. I've never seen Friends. I've never seen the show everybody likes now, The Big Bang Theory. I've never seen any of those shows. No, I've never seen them. Isn't that crazy? I can't hate Seinfeld. To me, it just looks stupid. So I don't even start it. I don't even go that route. But a lot of people love Seinfeld, and that's fine. Yep. I'm not usually into that kind of humor. Yeah, Melissa's right. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that show, so I didn't even start it. That's true. They are different, and that's why I said that, Chris. I don't hate Seinfeld. It just didn't appeal to me, so I never even tried it. And yeah, I think Melissa's right. They just seem like they're always mean and mean-hearted, and I don't like that too much. At least not in my comedies. But yep. So there you go. So that's was that number 7 for me? Yeah, that was number 7. Okay, you guys you're supposed to be helping me with this. So that was number 7. I've never seen The Big Bang Theory, Stace. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Nope, not yet. Hey, Ray J, welcome in. Oh, jeez, you can't hear anything. Well, let me just type in. I'll just type that in real fast and say hi. But, yep, so there you go. Number 7 is Frasier. So now we're down to our top 6. And from here on out, most of these are going to be dramas at this point. Shows that are a little bit more intense, I'll say. I'll put it to you that way for sure. But so number 6 for me on this list is a show. Again, we're going back to FX. It probably has one of the best first season, first show, first scenes I've ever seen. It was the coolest thing, and it hooked. I was hooked. This is the first scene from the first episode of the first show. And that first scene, the first 30 seconds of that show, was it hooked me. And it was amazing ever since. And it has, whose name, the gentleman's name, I can't think of it off the top of my head. Nope, not Prison Break. We already did Prison Break downscale. Oh my God, isn't that terrible? I can't think of his name. But he's fantastic. And it is... What did Melissa say? Yeah, we like 24. We did. But the show I'm talking about it's on FX, and it's pretty darn awesome, and it's Justified. Raylan Givens is his name. Justified. Walton Goggins is in it as the bad guy, and he's the antagonist pretty much every single season. And the two of them, the chemistry between the good guy and the bad guy is so thick you could cut it with a knife. And it's an awesome, awesome show. If anybody has never seen Justified, go watch Justified. And that first scene from the first season in the first show is it's a pretty cool scene. You talk about, it's just, I'll leave it at that. That's a pretty cool scene when he walks up to that other guy. It's pretty neat. It is. It's Justified. It's intense now. Don't get me wrong. This is an intense show. But he's a U.S. Marshal. And there's a lot of bad guys in this show. And he is the good guy. And it's awesome. It's just really an awesome show. Yeah, no, Timothy Olyphant, that's his name. Thank you, Melissa. I couldn't think of his name. But he's awesome as Raylan Givens in this show. Downscale, pretty much, he's a U.S. Marshal. It's more real-time, it's not back in the 1800s. It's current day, but he is a U.S. Marshal. But it's pretty darn good. It's a pretty cool show, for sure. And I get that, Ray J, you're right. But the thing about Justified was, it wasn't just the first season. All the seasons are great. And I think it lasted like 5. And it's awesome. Yeah, it really is. Justified's a great, great show. I think you guys would really like it. So that's pretty cool. I'm not sure what show you guys are talking about. You guys talking about, oh, Sheldon's Mom. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've never seen that show either. I've never seen Sheldon either. But, yep, so there you go. That's my number 6 is Justified. You guys haven't seen it? Put that down on your to-do list. I think you guys will like it. All right, so here we go. Top 5. These are my top 5 best shows of all time for me. These are the ones that I love. And I think they're fantastic. And Melissa, the next one on the list is one that you mentioned a little bit earlier. It's an HBO show. It only lasted 3 seasons. And it was prematurely canceled by HBO. I think that they made a big mistake when they canceled it. Fresh Prince. No, not Fresh Prince. This show is fantastic. It has Ian McShane. It also has Timothy Olyphant in it. And it's Deadwood. Has anybody out there ever seen Deadwood? Yeah, March. Okay. Yep. Yeah, that's it, Downscale. Yep, it's an American crime drama. Yep, but it's still good. Yes, Chris, Deadwood. Fantastic show. I love Deadwood. Man, it's an intense show. Don't get me wrong. It is really, really intense. But, man, it is pretty cool. Yeah, Fire in the Hole. That's exactly right, Downscale. And actually, that's one of the lines in the show, the bad guy says. Yep, it's Downscale. It's pretty darn cool. It's a good show. But Deadwood's my top 5. I love Deadwood. Ian McShane is the bad guy in this show, and Timothy Olyphant, again, is the good guy. But the lines kind of get crossed here and there. And it's the 1800s. It's Deadwood. You know, it's the annexation of, I think where's Deadwood? Is it South Dakota or North Dakota? I'm not sure. But wherever they are, I'm not very good with geography, as you can tell. It's a great show. It really is a good show. A lot of bad guys. But it's well written, well acted, and it's a really good show. Spartacus is fantastic. Ray J, yes, I loved Spartacus. Again, the rest of the seasons were fine, but that first season of Spartacus is awesome. Steve, Deadwood's good. I'm telling you. Ian McShane, maybe one of his best roles is Deadwood. It's pretty. Again, you can't watch it with the little ones. I'll put it to you that way. Make sure, yes, yeah. Keith Carradine was great as Wild Bill. Chris, he was awesome. I agree 100%. Yes, Spartacus is fantastic. Yep, Sweargin. Sweargin. I say that all the time, so Melissa always laughs at me. Yep, but Deadwood, great show. And it's only 3 seasons, so you can get through it pretty quick. And I think you guys will like it. I think it's a good show. Again, don't watch it with little kids. I'll put it to you that way. No, I haven't seen him really in a bad role either, Ian McShane. He's pretty good. But there you go. Number 5, Deadwood. I really enjoyed that show. So number 4, this is my last comedy on this list. But this was by far my favorite comedy of all time. And I call it a comedy, but it's just a family show more than it was anything else. Yeah, Melissa, you're right. Too much cussing in Deadwood. But that was the way they talked back then. Every other word. Yeah, it's true. Yep, it's true. Yeah, right, exactly. They did. Every other word seemed to be a lot of cussing. But I think it was their way of how they talked back then. I don't know. But moving on to number 4, what I was saying was, this is to me, my favorite family show comedy of all time. It might seem a little cheesy now, because it's dated, but I love the show. I love the characters from the show. And this is the one where I think it's America's Dad to me, and that's Happy Days. I loved Happy Days. The Fonz, Richie Cunningham, Marion Cunningham, Joni, Chachi, Ralph, Potsy. But Mr. Cunningham was by far, I think, the best dad for me. I mean, I don't know. He just always had the right answers. He was always there for his kids. He was a loving dad. I love Tom Bosley in the role, and I love the Fonz. I love Richie Cunningham. Hey, Mickey's Magic's in here. What's going on? How you doing, Meg? Welcome in. You're getting down. Hey, we're down to our top 5 TV shows, too, so you made it just in time. Different Strokes. What you talking about, Willis? No, it's not. It's not Different Strokes, Melissa. It's Happy Days. That's true, Stacy. Without Happy Days, we wouldn't have Mork for Mork. And we wouldn't have Laverne and Shirley either. And we wouldn't have Joni Loves Chachi. I'll forget that one. Hey, that's exactly right. The Fonz. Who doesn't love Fonz? I don't know. Happy Days is just an awesome show. I mean, the saying "jump the shark" is from Happy Days. That's where they get it from. That's where they get that saying from. When they say shows jump the shark, it's from Happy Days. It's from the episode where the Fonz jumps the shark. And then they say that the show kind of went downhill after that. But no, Meg the Office did not make the show. I mean, make the list. Sorry. No, Steve, it's not unpopular, to be honest with you. Yep, they joined. That's where they coined the phrase "jump the shark." That's exactly right, Joey's World. No, by all means, Steve. Again, everybody has their list of what they like. It's not a matter of unpopular or not. I just think it's such a great show. I loved Happy Days. I'm sorry, I just did. There were so many great episodes on that show. So many iconic roles that came out of it. I mean, they have the Fonz's leather jacket in D.C. in the oh, I can't think of the name of the building. One of the Smithsonian buildings, for sure. But yeah, I love Happy Days. It's a great show. I think it's fantastic. Potsy and Ralph Mouth are great characters in that show. There's a few cameos here and there on it. It's a fun show. It really is. It really is. It's a fun show. All right, so that's my number 4. All right, so Meg wants a recap. So we're going to count back. We're going to count down from 20 down to number 3. Lord of the Rings stream's coming, Meg. The 18th. We got everybody in. Jeff can't make it, though, so we might have to get a 5th one. Hey, Nathan, Rita's in here. What's going on? But, okay, so we're going to count them back, and then we'll get down to our top 3. So number 20 was The Tonight Show, Johnny Carson. Number 19 was Gilligan's Island. 18 was The Jeffersons. 17 was Batman. Then it was The Amazing Race. Then The Muppet Show. Then The Cosby Show. Then Prison Break. Then Night Court, Castle, Fargo, The Sopranos, Three's Company, Frasier, Justified, Deadwood, and Happy Days. And that's where we are. Yes, Meg, I am going old school. I gotta let the dog in. He's whining. Come on. Say hi. Yep. I am definitely going old school on a lot of these. And that was kind of one of the things I did as a caveat in the beginning. Then we were talking about that. I was doing a lot of old school for me. Oh, gosh. Oh, so am I, Meg. Oh, geez, Steve, I'm sorry to hear about your mom. I hope the surgery's okay. Yeah, Three's Company's a good show for sure. Oh, Match Game. Absolutely. Good one. Good one, Stacy. Match Game. Yep, dog right on. That's exactly right. He knows. All right, so let's go. Number 3. Number 3 on this list is, I don't even know how to word this one. I'm going to try to explain how we got into this show. I saw a trailer for this show, and it was more of a today's take on an old favorite. And I thought it was really neat how they were going to portray this. It was really kind of cool. And so we started watching it, and we absolutely fell in love with it. Melissa loved it. The single best episode of any one show, talking about just one show. If you pick one episode of any one show that's number 1 on your list, this one was number 1 on my list. It's the single best episode of any show I've ever seen. It has Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, and it's Sherlock. Not the one that's on CBS with Lucy Liu. This is the one that's on the BBC. It's the English version. It's called Sherlock. The best, one of the best TV shows ever, 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 ever. You have got to watch this show. Season 2, Episode 1, it's called A Scandal in Belgravia, is the best single episode of any show I've ever seen. Melissa knows exactly what I'm talking about. And this show is what put Martin Freeman and Benedict Cumberbatch on the map. This is before he became Frodo Baggins and before Benedict Cumberbatch became Doctor Strange or Smaug. They were in Sherlock. And this show is amazing. And I'm hoping somebody out there has seen it. Chris has seen it. And Sherlock is, oh my God. So we're making connections. Yeah, that's true. Yep. Oh my God, Steve, you've never seen Sherlock. That's it. We're done. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh. You have got to watch Sherlock, everybody. Of all these shows on the list, that's the one you have to watch. That's the only one I'm asking. Everybody else, you don't have to watch any of these other ones. You have to watch Sherlock. I think you guys would absolutely love this show. It's so smart. It's so intelligent. It's so fantastic. It's written unbelievable. It's acted unbelievable. The episodes keep you on the edge of your seat. It's awesome. I can't believe you guys have never seen Sherlock. Melissa, can you believe this? I can't believe it. Tell them, Melissa. Guys, it's an amazing show. Oh my gosh. Minnie Mouse. Yes, me too, Melissa. I want to go back and watch it too. Yes, Happy Days was good, clean, fun, Rob. I agree. But Sherlock's amazing, guys. I'm telling you, you'll love this show. It is a modern take on Sherlock Holmes. It really is cool. And this one was before Elementary, too. Elementary was a copy of our Sherlock. Of that Sherlock. I say our Sherlock, that Sherlock. I'm telling you, I think you guys would love it. It really is a cool show. Definitely check it out. It really is. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I'm flabbergasted. Some of you haven't seen that show. Definitely check it out. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. Meg, I guarantee you're going to love it. It's the Sherlock. Yes, it's the Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. I'm telling you, you'll love it. It's pretty darn awesome. Sherlock is an unlikable, likable character in that show. I'll put it to you that way. So there you go. That's my number 3. I know we're running over, so I'll try to make this really, really fast the rest of the way. Yeah, exactly. Me too. Now, I'm not majoring in animation, to be honest with you. That's why a lot of animation. But you'll see on when I do my honorable mentions. But number 2 on the list. This show is coming up on its final season. It's fantastic. I've read all the books. I'm caught up on all the books, and I had read all the books before we even got to the show. The show is fantastic. The books are even better, and this show is well written. This show has the single most upsetting death and the single most gratifying death in the same television show, by far. Okay, this is number 2 for me. It's not number 1, but it has the single most upsetting death and the single most gratifying death in the same TV show. And it's written unbelievable. It's acted unbelievable. The special effects are fantastic. The show is wonderful. I think you guys have probably... Nobody is... there you go. Steve got it. No, it's not zombies. But it is... Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Chips didn't make my list. I'm sorry. I do like chips, though. Yes, Chris. Yes, Steve. Game of Thrones. Oh my gosh, guys and gals. If you have not watched Game of Thrones, you have got to watch Game of Thrones. That show is absolutely amazing. And I don't want to give it away. I would love to tell you, but the death in this show is... I was so upset over this death, I almost stopped watching this show. I was so mad. I was so mad. It was my favorite character on this show. And when they killed that person off, I was so upset. Well, listen, I'll tell you, I was upset for about 2 weeks. I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you kidding me? And I almost stopped watching the show. But then they redeemed themselves with one of the best deaths. And it was maybe the worst character ever. But Game of Thrones is fantastic. It is an unbelievably good show. Oh my God, man, you've only seen 1.5 seasons. You have got to watch Game of Thrones. The last season's coming up, and it's going to be epic. It's going to be fantastic. I was so... That's a good word, Chris, and you probably know the death I'm talking about. But that character was my favorite character on that show. And I don't want to give it away. I was so upset for like a month. Melissa will tell you. Yeah, no spoilers. Well, if you saw the first season, Meg, you know who I'm talking about. I hope not, Ray J. I really hope somebody wins, and I really hope it's the good guys. I'm not like everybody else. I like the good guys to win. I do. I don't know. It's just me. But, yeah, coming up. Oh, I could do that, too. I could do a live stream on Game of Thrones, too, guys. Yeah, it was season 1. Yes, Steve. It was a death in season 1 that, even to this day, upsets me. I don't want to talk about it anymore. But there you go. Number 2, Game of Thrones. Number 1 is coming up. Best show on TV. Game of Thrones is fantastic. I'm going to be so upset when it goes away. But they are doing a spinoff. Yes, Jon Snow is... he's my second favorite character. My favorite character is gone. But Jon Snow is probably my second favorite character. I love his character. Yeah, you did see that season, so Max, you'd probably know who I'm talking about. You know, Steve, I can't say that I do. I enjoy Game of Thrones a lot. I don't think there's anything like Lord of the Rings out there. It's Lord of the Rings is something that has really stood the test of time. I mean, he wrote those books 70 years ago, and it's just different. It's the same but different. It really is. But Pretty Little Liars, no, it's not. No, it's not Pretty Little Liars. But okay, so my number one show, and I'll get down to it because I know we're running late. So number one, again, almost like Prison Break. Every single week, this show, the last, it was a cliffhanger every single week. It was the neatest show on television. This was a show that had people talking about it, about the theories of what this is. What does this mean? What does that mean? What about this? Is this real? Is this not real? Where are they? Where are they not? Are they alive? Are they dead? It had some of the best characters ever written on television. It was the neatest, funnest show that was unbelievable. I loved it. They had so many great characters, so many bad guys, so many good guys, so many twists and turns and plot changes. And yes, Steve, that's exactly right. Brian, you got it. Chris, you got it. It's Lost. Lost was an unbelievable television show. Now, it lost its way the last couple seasons, but that first season was unbelievable. It was just unbelievable. It blew my mind of what they were doing. All the little clues and hints here and there that they would put into the show. We had people talking at work about this show. What do you think of this? Where do you think this? Is this real? Is this the theory? Do you think this is going to happen? It was an amazing, amazing show. Now, if anybody out there has watched it, Meg, you've never seen Lost? Oh my gosh. That's okay. We don't hate you, Meg. That's okay. I have the entire series too, Steve. I don't know if anybody has seen Lost. I'd like to know who your favorite character was. And other than Melissa, I'd like to see if anybody else out there can guess who my favorite character was on Lost. But Lost was an unbelievably fun show. It was great. That show made me cry. It made me laugh. It made me cringe. It made me happy. It made me sad. It was such a great show. It was my favorite, and it left an indelible effect on me for a long time. I used to have a shirt that said 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. And if you've seen the show, you know what those numbers are. No, it wasn't Hurley. Stacey, I haven't watched Manifest because I think it's, from what I saw of it, it reminds me too much of a Lost. How do I want to say it? I don't want to say, like, rerun, but I think that's what it's supposed to be like. The Good Place, Scooby-Doo, yep, 24. Good shows, Phantom Gazer, yep. Well, it was more than one person on the island, Meg. There was like 42 people on the island. Yeah, Rachel, it is. It's a great show. Yes, Steve, that's my favorite character. Yeah, it seems like it, Stacey. That's true. Steve, you got it. That was by far, Chris, that's my favorite character, is John Locke. What an awesome, awesome character. Another, I don't want to give it away, but I don't even want to go there. But yes, I love that guy's character. I think that was, and he's from my state. He's from Maryland. Or at least he lives here now. I'm sorry. His character is fantastic. Everything about that character, he was such a good person, and he got, pardon the expression, shit on. Sometime I'm going to talk. Throughout that entire show, he got everything handed to him, and he still kept going on. But I love that character. I think he was fantastic. Saeed and Sawyer, yes, all great. Don't get me wrong. I hated Kate. I hated her character. Everything about that character. I wanted her dead so bad. I did not. She was such a selfish character on that show. I hated Kate. I'm sorry. Oh, I like the married couple too, John. They were awesome. Yes, John Locke was the guy in the wheelchair, Stacy. That's exactly right. That's the only time I'm going to say it, Meg. I'm sorry. That was my only one. But anyway, so there you go, guys. That's my top 20 list on there. Let me give you a couple real fast honorable mentions. I won't talk about them. I'll just give them to you. These are honorable mentions. I did like Sawyer too. Absolutely. Not Penny's boat. Yeah. Whew. That's a tough scene right there, Joey's World. That is a really tough scene. That's a tough scene to watch, man. That for sure. But our cat is named Penny because of that show. Simpsons. Nothing wrong with The Simpsons. Although I've never seen it. Donna Reed's another good one. But here's some of my honorable mentions. You guys are going to think this is cheesy, but on Hallmark Channel, there's a show called Wayne Calls the Heart. It's actually a fun show. We enjoy it. It's a family show. It's a chick show, but Melissa loves it. I like it a lot, too. It's a fun show. Wayne Calls the Heart. Another one, this is a real old one. I love this show as a kid, and that's The Lone Ranger. I used to love The Lone Ranger. These are my honorable mentions. I used to love that show. The one, yeah, the animated, well, Batman the Animated Series, Meg, I did see that. I liked that too. It was good. It was really good. I agree. The other thing too is another one I had, this is the only animated one, was the Challenge of the Super Friends. You guys remember the Super Friends, Challenge of the Super Friends with the bad guys, the Legion of Doom? I used to love that. I watched that all the time. Laverne and Shirley, another one. It was a spinoff of Happy Days. I love Laverne and Shirley. I think that show's fun. F Troop. Now, you guys probably don't know what F Troop is, but that's a really old show. Goes way back. That was a fun show I used to watch as a kid. Mork and Mindy, of course. Mork and Mindy has to make the list. Ray J, good list. MacGyver, Star Trek, Smallville, Friends, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, Knight Rider, Seinfeld. What else did you put there? Airwolf. Wow, there's one for you. Glee. Xena. I remember Xena. Yep. Remember Hercules too? Yep. But, yep. Spider-Man and Friends. Melissa liked. Yep. Forever. Forever was a good show. But F Troop, Mork and Mindy, good shows. Lost in Space. Who remembers Lost in Space? Not the new one on Netflix. The old one from back in the 60s. Danger, Will Robinson. I used to love that. Used to watch it all the time. And then the last one, this is the only game show that made my list. I used to like Tic-Tac-Toe. I don't know if you all remember that with Wink Martindale. I used to like Tic-Tac-Toe when I was a kid. I used to watch it all the time. Quantum Leap, Buffy, Love Boat, of course. Love Boat and Fantasy Island. They were great. They were on, I think it was Friday nights, wasn't it? Or was it Saturday nights? Love Boat. Oh my gosh, yes. F Troop was fantastic. Ken Berry, it's Joey's World. He just passed away yesterday, which is kind of sad. And of course, Ken Berry, if you remember, was in Mama's Family and Herbie as well. But He-Man, yep. Danger, Will Robinson. I'm telling you, Jeopardy. I like Jeopardy. I actually do like Jeopardy, Joey's World. Buffy and Angel, Melissa says. Steve, I liked Let's Make a Deal, but I never got to see it much. And it was on Saturday nights, Stacy. That's what it was. For some reason, I thought it was Friday nights. Hollywood Squares is another good one, too. But, yep, lots of great shows, guys. Lots of great shows out there. Well, I won't hold anybody any longer. I really hope you guys like the list. I really appreciate you guys coming out. She-Ra, yep, that's a good one. The Newlywed Game. Making Whoopi. That's true. It was so funny. Yeah, it was fun. Absolutely. Oh, my gosh. It was so much. Wheel of Fortune's a great one, too, Noah. Yep. But, guys, thank you, everybody. Let me just throw my shout-outs to everybody out there. Please, if you haven't already subscribed to those out here, please go out and subscribe to their channels, to anybody in the chat. Hashtag stay on there. You don't want to talk to me any longer, trust me. First 10 years of Saturday Night Live. That's a good one, Joey. I didn't even think about that. You had Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, Gilda Radner. Oh my gosh, yes, that was fantastic. Dukes of Hazzard. That was a classic show, Stacy. It wasn't my show. It wasn't my thing. But it really was. It was a classic show. It stuck around for a long time, too. But, yep, there you go, guys. That's my list. I want to thank Dean over at The Live Place and Dreamers Empire for hosting the show. Again, if you haven't gone out to The Live Place, please do so. Lots of family-friendly live streams out there. Some Disney stuff, lots of Disney and other stuff as well. That's kind of what this show is about. Others, Disney's involved, but we do other things too. But please go out there. And, oh, if you could, please, if you haven't already subscribed to Mickey's Magic, Meg's channel, she's so close to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get her there. Meg is so close, guys. Let's get her to 1,000. She's 15 away. And if you could, you know, somebody tweet out her channel. Put her channel in the chat for us. That would be great. Also, if you could tweet her out, share her with your friends. We'd love to get her to 1,000. She definitely deserves it. But yeah, that's right. Disney Life for Me at 10 o'clock. I'll be streaming. Go out and see Dee and Miguel. Please hit that like button, guys, for us. We would appreciate that. It definitely helps out the stream and helps out the channel. And I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. I like doing these top 10s, top 20s. They're a lot of fun. I love the feedback from you guys in the chat. It's always a lot of fun. It means a lot to me. I'm so stoked for our December 18th Lord of the Rings stream. It's going to be epic. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of different topics on Lord of the Rings that night. Thank you, Steve, for putting that in there for Meg. It's going to be great. I just think it's going to be fantastic. And tonight was a lot of fun. You guys are all great. That's true. That's true, Stacy. They probably have already subscribed. It's true. But for those, again, thank you, everybody, for joining us. You know, Dan always says it, and it's true. You guys aren't our subscribers. You're our friends. And it means a lot to us when you're here. You know, you could be doing other things, but you're not. You're here spending time with me, listening to me run my mouth. And it definitely means a lot. And this community is a great community with a lot of supportive people out there who mean a lot to all of us. And I think that's why we support each other so much. And it's been fantastic. Tonight was a lot of fun. Can't wait till next week and the week after. And hope you guys can come out Thursday. And thank you guys again. Please take care of yourselves and each other. And we'll see you on Thursday if you can make it. If not, I'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Take care.